Early morning light touched the peaks of the Truong Sun Mountains as the sun rose over in Tuong village. Nguyễn An, an 18-year-old with gentle eyes, stepped slowly into the wet rice paddy, the bamboo sickle slung over his shoulder. Dew still clung to the green shoots, and a breeze brushed his cheek, stirring both excitement and dread. Tomorrow he would enlist. From the stilt house doorway, his mother watched silently, eyes reddened. Without a word, she placed a hand-embroidered silk scarf across his shoulders, a mother's prayer for his safety. In that moment, An felt pride and fear in equal measure as he prepared to leave his peaceful childhood behind. That evening's dinner was simple: green bananas and braised pork, the last meal before goodbye. His father, voice steady but low, passed him a piece of meat and said, "Take care of yourself out there. The country needs young men like you." His little sister, trembling, threw her arms around him. "Promise you'll draw me a chrysanthemum when you come home," she whispered. And smiled warmly and nodded, clutching his sketchbook close, the very book that held wildflower drawings and ink-blotted diary entries. Heart-pounding, he breathed deeply, ready for the unknown journey ahead. On the second day of training, An's new unit set off for the front. The monsoon rain showed no mercy, mud sucked at their boots, turning every step into a struggle. Darkness fell early, punctuated by distant rifle fire that shattered the stillness. Cold rain mixed with the dried blood caked on An's leggings, but thoughts of his mother's gentle hand on his hair and his sister's bright smile spurred him onward, mile after painful mile. That afternoon, An's patrol stumbled into an enemy scouting party. The firefight was swift and savage, AK-47 reports echoing through the damp air. Once they dived into a makeshift trench and heard a weak groan beside him. "Brother," it was Private Phuong, a fellow recruit, his thigh shredded by a bullet. Blood seeped into the packed earth. When Phuong urged him to leave, and refused. Wrapping torn cloth around the wound, he helped Phuong crawl to safety. From that moment, their bond was sealed in blood and shared fear. During late-night watches, An unfolded his first letter from home. His mother's trembling script read, "My son, we miss you dearly. The rice harvest is promising this year, and everyone in the village talks about you. Your little sister is doing well in school. She wants you to teach her how to draw when you return." An's eyes blurred. He wrote back by candlelight, sharing bits of camp life, assuring them he was alive and well. Those simple lines fueled his strength to face exhaustion and the choke of smoke on the battlefield. For weeks, their unit endured relentless shelling. One day, enemy bombers roared overhead and released their payload directly on the trench line. Explosions shook the earth, sending shards of concrete and soil flying. And pressed into the mud wall, ears ringing. When the dust settled, he crawled out to find Phuong unmoving beside him, no sign of life. A cold emptiness gripped An's chest. Kneeling, he whispered into the ash-laden air, "You're not alone, my friend. I'll keep my promise." In the aftermath, An's squad was ordered to recover the fallen. Along the pockmarked road, they encountered an elderly man and a wide-eyed little girl, orphaned by war. Clutching a tattered teddy bear, she wept. The old man asked if they could escort them to the nearest safe hamlet. Without hesitation, An and his comrades offered a handful of dry rations and guided them through shell-cratered fields. Amid devastation, their act of compassion planted a fragile seed of hope. At last, their division joined armored units to storm an enemy stronghold. Tanks rumbled ahead, their cannons opening the way. An's platoon advanced beside them, hearts pounding. When the lead tank breached the gate, and sprinted forward, planting the flag atop the captured turret. The crackle of gunfire gave way to triumphant cheers, but in his chest grew a bittersweet ache for Phuong, whose portrait and chrysanthemum sketch he now pinned to that same rail. Peace came in the season's last drizzle. Armistice bells tolled, trenches were filled, and guns fell silent. An's unit regrouped in the rear to await transport home. Gentle rain sifted through the trees, each drop a promise of renewal. For a moment, An felt Phuong's presence in the cool mist, a final farewell from his fallen brother-in-arms. Returning to Tuong, An paused at the village gate, tears pricking his eyes. Warm greetings swirled around him, neighbors, friends, and family, all with beaming faces. His mother, clutching his sister, rushed forward. "You're home," she sobbed, enfolding him in her arms. Beyond them lay emerald paddy fields and patched rooftops, simple signs of life restored. Yet the horrors he witnessed would remain etched in his memory like indelible ink. In his workshop, and built a small wooden shrine. He hung Phuong's uniform photo beside the chrysanthemum drawing his friend had made. Each morning, he lit incense and bowed, "I've kept my promise. I brought back beauty in exchange for your sacrifice." He vowed to honor Phuong by living fully and using his art to tell stories that must not be forgotten. One afternoon, his sister ran breathless through the yard, brandishing a new watercolor. "Look, big brother, I painted chrysanthemums for you." An's tears fell freely as he took in the vibrant petals, white and gold in the soft light. He swept her into his arms and whispered, "Thank you for bringing spring back to my heart." In the glow of that moment, laughter and joy banished the war's lingering shadow. Years later, and became a renowned artist, his exhibitions drawing crowds far and wide. Each canvas held a fragment of the frontline, Phuong's courageous eyes, the orphaned girl's trembling hand, nights spent under shell-scarred skies. Viewers left transformed, reminded that pain and resilience are inseparable, and that every stroke of the brush can nurture hope. At a Hanoi gallery opening, and reunited with the orphaned girl, now a poised young woman. Though her grandfather had passed, she handed in a fresh bouquet of chrysanthemums, a living emblem of survival and solidarity. In that exchange, and felt the full circle of life and loss, and the unwavering human spirit that blooms even in ruin. Seated by his studio window, gazing over golden rice terraces, and lifted his brush once more. Morning light streaked across the blank canvas, revealing only one motif, chrysanthemums. In their graceful curves, he captured friendship, sacrifice, and the longing for peace. As dawn unfurled, and smiled, certain that through art and remembrance, the legacy of those who fell would live on forever.